when we was watching that movie, How the West Was Won, Doc was having. So I asked the guy, Jimmy, that's his name, supposed to be his name, probably police too. But anyway, he said, man, Doc, the movie, that Americanism, just like the Jews, the U.S. government is after Doc, putting him back in jail. And he's crying because how the West was won. Of course, he wasn't sad about the Indians getting killed or nothing like that, right? But it was what he, like the Flyers, remember the Flyers, the Aviators and all those guys? They had a thing, the white man made a thing, Why the Negro Fights. I don't know if anybody ever seen that.
I've heard of it.
Man, there's some world with some propaganda film about American government. Boy, you ought to see it. You thought you knew black history? Man, they talk about Crispus Attucks. That's what our history book said. It was just, he the one stood up in Boston. They got 11 Negroes on the, I don't know if anybody said, the white man got a statue with 11 Negroes that died when Crispus Attucks, somewhere around there, right? And Negroes ain't got that. So, they got Negroes here today that won't evolve with us because they have something in them about, I don't know, the white man takes stuff out, you don't know what he took. So you don't know what to put back. You think it's self-esteem or something. We was calling it the Mandela effect. Now in Mandela's case, it was wisdom, it was hikmah what he was doing. He said, we still got the Army, right? We still got the Air Force, and we don't have, so maybe he was supposed to ease them down, calm them down, and flip back a few years later and said, well, we would like to have our property, so we're going to take half of it back now. You know what I mean? Let them keep some for a little bit and maybe take the rest. Or just let them keep 25% of what they have. It goes right, it was their property, and the white man stole it. They never got to that. But the Mandela effect was that it's something like what we talk about now. Would you turn the heat up in the cool? Is it cold in here or cool? It's just right. Just push it up there, just a little bit, just a pinch. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is we have never been just a happy-go-lucky or defeated type of group. We have been working on this stuff all our life. When we came back to America in the early 70s, we came back to do this type of thing. And we're doing it. We don't have it don't make no difference what anybody thinks or what they got up there, that doesn't make a difference. Because, like the guy said, know yourself, know your enemy. 1,000 battles, 1,000 victories. Okay, and these situational strategies, we're not going to allow crackpots to make us lose our self-control and our focus and our discipline. We're just not going to do it. They don't even get close. That's what I'm saying about now. Nobody even gets close. Because the more that happens in the world, the more it clarifies, you know, the situation. And I'll try to speed up. combining advantages and disadvantages. Leaders who do not understand the disadvantages or advantages of the 9 variations, despite knowledge of the areas and positions, cannot gain advantage in the situation. In a controlled strategy, those who do not know the theory of the 9 variations, despite knowledge of the 5 advantages of the 7, cannot succeed employing the other. Therefore, those who can speculate cleverly are certain to combine the advantages and disadvantages. Now, it's talking about a warrior or a leader that don't know, haven't even had a chance to study warfare in a big way. But he has some natural leadership capability. Therefore, those who can speculate cleverly are certain to combine the advantages and disadvantages. If you can speculate in a discrete way, you can figure out all the advantages and disadvantages of the situation. That's why we started with that ayah about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and let's see, where is that here? Basically, Allah will help you from avenues that you never thought about. This is basically. Or send you aid and assistance down the street that you didn't even know was there. That's why some use the word avenues. And he provides for him from sources he never could imagine. And if anyone puts his trust in Allah, sufficient is Allah for him, for Allah will surely accomplish his purpose. Verily, for all things has Allah appointed due proportion. Okay, we're not out in the woods running around laughing and talking right now. The world is accelerating. The decline of America is accelerating so fast, it's off the charts. Does everybody kind of maybe feel like that's halfway true? The decline of America, disintegration of America has already, it may be at the point of no return. But economically, you can look at America and you can see the decline and set in. It's to loan out so much money that eventually inflation is going to catch up. So in fact, instead of getting rid of property, we're going to acquire property in a hurry. You know why? Because when inflation kick in, the only thing is whatever you buy it at, right? Even if it deflates, you still have it. There's currency that's inflating so fast around the world that they can't put any more zeros on the money. You've seen some of that? Okay. I don't know if anybody's been watching, but when I go to the store and buy certain things, like some things have inflated, but other things have. A few months ago, a pound of margarine, that good margarine, probably not halal, but kosher margarine, because Giant is a kosher type, you know. So I use that that type of margarine, or the other one is twice as expensive because it makes the food taste better. A few months back, it was $1.99. Now it's $1.49. It's a big jump in a few months. Okay. Property values, everything else, and how are people going to live? How? How are people going to, how are people going to live? Where are they going to get the money? What if they have money in the bank? They make it now for the last several years. They don't want you to put money in the bank. The bank used to take care of all your stuff free if you had an account, right? Now they charge you, plus they almost, why? Because the government, whatever they call that national bank, big old bank, they've given out money for 0. What is it? They're giving it out free.
You're talking about the Federal Reserve?
Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve is giving out money free, and they used to get your money to keep in their bank, and they used to loan that to charge interest to other people. But now the government is giving them money directly, and they can loan that money, therefore they don't need your money. That's why they're charging you for everything. They almost don't want your money, right? The Federal Reserve is giving them, way more money than you, so they're hooking it up so you have to spend your money. Have anybody noticed that? All their schemes now, you got to spend your money. You got to invest your money in this big scheme called America. A lot of people don't understand why would we make decisions that is counter to what we've been talking about for years. Technically, it's not counter. The only reason is people haven't been paying much attention. We've been standing outside hollering about best thing speech, call people our gratitude, and certain people gonna be your friends. Warm and fuzzy friends. What is that? 10 years old? It's at least 10 years old. At least 10 years. Declaration of peace. Yeah, this is 10 years old too. Declaration of peace. Not declaration of war, but declaration of peace. So we have been dealing with all this stuff all along. Ascending mission. The mission that we had a while back, this must be 2008. The mission is bigger right there. It's ascending. Historical change. The world is changing. It's 2008 again. Historical accuracy. If you think we're accurate now, we've been the same accurate all along. It's probably 2007. 2007? Accuracy. Historical accuracy. You think we say something today, and then it come out tomorrow, and you say, oh, that guy got a crystal ball. We've been doing that all along. Historical accuracy on historical situations. And everybody that's not falling into a certain approach, look what happened to them. We have friends overseas that stuck us in the back. So stuck us in the back. We ain't right about it. They stuck us in the back. They invite people around that they know they got people on TV. They biggest TV Negro personality. This is the biggest tattletale in the United States. And when I get busted upside the head, they have them marching up and down the street talking about, Hashibi, Hashibi, Hashibi. And I'm sitting over there, I can't hardly talk. Remember that? No problem. A few months later, right here, their foreign minister give a talk, supposed to be an interview amongst them, and they get it all on tape, and it's saying, why that man, the greatest Iranian in world history, millions of people come out for Qasem Soleimani, and he did me this way, he did me that way, right? And they made me stay here instead of taking me to Syria and talk about the rebellion. They made me stay here with my white friends. What's her name? Medea. They're good. So they already knew. You see, they already know what's happening. So you like them, you keep them. But you're not going to come here and talk and now he's mad. Now, they're on the outs, and we don't know. Maybe our friends might be in. But definitely, you know, what does it mean? You got 95% of ability is stickability. You can't have a temporary program. You got to stick with your stuff over a long period of time. And there are some things that are changeable, but not ethics. The ethics of warfare and the ethics of behavior, they're permanent fixtures. So, our ethics are the same, but planning is a planning program. There's strategy and there's tactics. Strategy is the big show. Tactics is the day-to-day what you're going to do. Right? Here's one called, it looks like counter-encirclement. That means those people that thought they had us surrounded, this is then, 11 years ago. We done re-encircled them. And then in a few years ago, it's re-encircled. We done counter-encircled and counter-encircled them. Not them doing it to us. They already got us encircled. Hey, you don't have to, hey, welcome. Bienvenido. Welcome to the counter-encircled Masjid al-Islam program. Yeah. So everyone is welcome. What's bothering them is called foreign policy arrogance. And our Negro friends have it. No matter how much you teach on anticipation, they still think some of the people who struggle, well, why did I say, because you're colored, it's your own problem. You're colored. No, okay, tell it, you're black. Yeah, that's your only problem. If you was a white man with authority, they would jump off a bridge for you. Yes, they would. They jump off a bridge. Easy. System analysis. Okay, so people, what we're saying is, so if people come up to you and say, those niggas are lucky, that nigga is lucky, they just stumble upon this. They can't say that because historical accuracy all the time, right? Historical accuracy. You can stumble up on something by accident every now and then, right? You can stumble up and find a $5 bill, but if every time you walk out of your house, or every time you go around the corner, you didn't find a pot of gold, $50, $100, that means something is going on, right? Something else is going on. System analysis. This is stuff spies do. They analyze systems, right? They analyze. And I don't care how accurate you are, the people are going to look at you. That's one of the things that you have to deal with. When I say you, that means the people that wants to be a part of the movement. Other people have what's called learned helplessness. Anybody know what that is? Well, okay. I know everybody know what it is, but I just say. For instance, they do a test with a dog, and they put a dog in a cage. Then they electrocute the cage, and they turn electricity up to the dog, jump up and run around, try to get out of the cage. They turn it down, then they turn it up again and something more. He goes bananas, as white folks say. He just kind of get out of there. But if he touched the wall, they electrocute him. If he touched the other wall, it electrocute him. If he jump up to the top, it electrocutes him. So there's no escape. And then they do it again until, you know what? Pretty soon the dog just lays there. And he's being electrocuted and he don't do nothing. That's called learned helplessness. They've trained him that there's nothing you can do to get out of this cage. So you might as well save your energy. He defecates, salivates, he loses all body control. They do that to human beings all the time. There's no way to escape. We've kept you niggas plantationized for all these decades. You ain't going nowhere. No escape, sorry. You're not going anywhere. So niggas lay down, give up their humanhood. It's called learned helplessness. They've trained the people to be helpless. There's other kind of things like that they use. Little stuff they've been using a long time. So whatever you think about us and our community, we drive by all of that. I'm sorry, none of it works. Learned helplessness. Of course, you got to remember now, we play games with Boss Man. Let's see what we might do to him. We do a lot of stuff. Therefore, who can speculate?